Yeah, my name is Ashley Crowder. I am the co-founder and CEO of Ventana. Imagine walking down a new city and magically seeing footprints appear in front of you to lead the way. Or better yet, your Lyft or Uber driver seeing a giant green arrow to know exactly where to pick you up. This is the power of augmented reality, or AR. It's putting the digital into the real world and providing us this seamless access to data that is so powerful. Virtual reality, or VR, on the other hand, fully immerses us in a digital world. This requires us to put on a headset, but everybody here could feel like you were sitting on a beach right now, which could be great. But it is a little isolating. So VR is still a very individual experience. Only that person wearing that headset is going to be in that world and see that space, which makes AR a little bit better for the event world, which we're in, where we have hundreds or thousands of people coming to attend and experience. Both VR and AR are going to change every aspect of our lives. Goldman Sachs did a report stating that AR and VR will be an $80 billion industry by 2025. That's less than 10 years. And it's going to affect every aspect of our lives, from entertainment to education to how we work. The military's using it. It's incredible. And the majority of that is going to be AR because of its ability to connect with our real world. Now, most of AR started requiring a third eye in which to view the world through. Cell phones were a great first use case because we all have one in our hand pretty much 24/7. And then, of course, tablets as well. This is an app that IKEA created where you can actually see their furniture in your house before you buy it. And this can work two different ways. So you have marker-based AR, so your phone can recognize an image like a QR code, or now it can be any type of image and place a digital object there. Or it can be GPS-based. Pokemon Go, which I'm sure you all have heard of, it completely took over the world last summer. That's how this works. So it was based on a GPS location. And this was so successful because it was gamified, and you could do it with other people. You could do it with your friends. It was social. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, well, you know, it took over the world last summer, but no one's really playing it now. Is AR over? This was one game. The fact that a single AR game could make that global impact is huge. And I am so excited for the future content in AR games that more of you might be creating for your events, which we'll go into some options for that in a bit. Another type of AR are headsets. A lot of the major players have released their AR headsets. Google was by far the first with Google Glass, which unfortunately did not do very well. It was a little before its time. It's not good when people refer to your users as glass holes. Unfortunately, you know, there was a few reasons for that. They released to a very small subset. Nobody ever knew if they were recording. People would be looking at me with that thing on. I was like, please turn it off. I don't know what you're doing with that. And it was a little before its time. Today we have Microsoft HoloLens, which has had a little bit better reception. That's the device that's on the screen. This is a headset you wear. It's clear, like Google Glass, and it places digital objects into your world. There's other players, Magic Leap. They've raised over $1 billion and have still not released a product yet, so everyone's curious what they're building there. And Meta, and there's a few other players. We'll get into other tools you can use. But with these headsets, it still is that individual experience, unlike the phone version. And the third type are holograms. And this is what we work on at Ventana. So this is standalone hardware that projects digital images into our environment that we can all see. So I could be a hologram today on stage, beaming in from somewhere else, and everybody could see and interact with me together. And what's so great about all of these different types of AR is its ability to connect with the consumer's emotions. I know Christian's his speech earlier talked about how important this was to connect with your consumer on that level, and AR is an amazing way to do that. So here's a video of Nike doing this via hologram at the Dallas Cowboys training facility.
First time ever, your uniforms for next Saturday. Let's get it. So, introducing the Lone Star Rangers, August 27th, all white hologram
So yeah, they had a lot of fun. You can see all of them had Snapchat open because it didn't happen unless it's on social media. And this is the goal, right? This is the goal of an event. You turn your consumers into advocates for your event. And they're all sharing and telling their friends about how cool this experience was that they had. This event ended up having 140,000 impressions and over 30,000 engagements, which are likes, clicks, tweets, comments. We actually got that video off of Twitter. So that's from one of the kids filmed. And so doing the math, each attendee ended up engaging with an average of 32 and a half people not at that event, heard about that event, and got them talking about it and becoming advocates for Nike, which was pretty amazing. And this is the future of advertising. You know, no one watches commercials anymore. We all pay to stream our media. Gary Vaynerchuk did an amazing speech at South by a few years ago where he pointed out even drivers are staring at their cell phones. No one is looking at these billboards. It's terrifying, but true. You know, millennials define luxury as an experience. So how do you sell them a product? And Gen Z, which is now even surpassing them in purchasing power, are digital natives that demand the latest and greatest in technology to be communicated with. And AR is a great way to do that, and especially at events. We're all in this amazing industry because this is where all of that brand advertising is going. And I know events are stressful, but they really are a great way to test out new tech. I'm an engineer, so I look at things like a science project, and events fit that. It's a set sample size of people, it's a finite duration, you can measure the impact, analyze the results, and then make it better the next event. And there's 5 key things we look at when we're planning to use AR at an event. First, what is the goal? I know this seems obvious, but AR and VR have become such buzzwords. I'm sure at least some of you have heard your boss say, well, just do something AR, it's awesome. Okay, why? Do you want to increase your social media? Do you want to find out product preferences? Do you want to get PR and earn media? You know, what is the goal? How are consumers going to sign up to participate? Because you don't want to miss out on that. It's a great opportunity to collect more data about your consumers that are at the event. And what's the incentive? Why are they going to do this? You know, a lot of this is so new and exciting. You know, at first you're going to get people just wanting to try it, but after it's been around for a while, you know, why would they want to do it? What are your metrics? You know, what are you going to measure, and what do you consider success after the fact? What are those numbers? And then lastly, have some type of take home to live on past the event, because that's your goal. You want people to have such an amazing experience and something to share and talk about when they leave. And a great aspect to do for this is social media, as with Nike. And it's that user-generated content that is so valuable because it's 50% more trusted, it's 35% more memorable, and 20% more likely to lead to a sale, which is really affecting the bottom line. And that's because I'm so much more likely to click on that dress that my sister shared on Facebook than that Nordstrom ad that follows me around the internet that I already just automatically ignore. And so I'm going to now walk through a couple different ways, you know, with each device that we can do that. So starting with mobile. Creating a treasure hunt at your event to make sure people go to all the different booths or all the different aspects is an awesome way to use this type of tech. First Bank in Denver, they've created a treasure hunt around a mountain, one of the ski mountains in Denver, for a big event that they're sponsoring over a weekend. And their whole motto is, we're allowing you to bank anywhere, and so we're having this treasure hunt on a mountain, and it's so fun. And the winner gets featured on their Facebook page, so they're also encouraging social sharing. But this could even be at a trade show, and you could even use it as an upsell to some of those exhibitors to say, hey, would you like your booth to be one of the Easter eggs on the treasure hunt to bring more people by? So there are so many different ways you can use this technology to guide your attendees to certain aspects of your event. Now, there's a couple tools you can use. Blip AR is a great company. They have an amazing AR toolkit, and they'll do everything for you. So if this is overwhelming, don't worry. They will take what you want, and they will build it for you. If you have developers, there's iPhone's AR toolkit, which Apple just released for iOS, and Vuforia has been around for a long time. You can build on iOS or Android with them, but you do need a developer to use them. And then the consumer sign up. So because it's mobile, Facebook is the best and easiest. Just require that Facebook login, and you can get so much data about that user by linking with their Facebook page. Other options are putting beacons at your event, which I'm sure many of you have used before, which can sync direct with your registration. So again, users don't have to enter in any new information, but you know who they are when they're participating. And Twilio is great as well. So Twilio is a texting application. So I could be at the event and I could text to a certain number, AR treasure hunt. It texts me back the link where I can download that game or play via web. But whatever you're doing, you want to make sure it's a very quick and easy process. So no long surveys to participate. People will just give up. And the incentive to engage. So this was a really fun activation that a toy store did where they let consumers see themselves next to a lifelike toy. And this is using that marker-based AR. Nothing is as shareable as a selfie with a celebrity or a cartoon. So this is a great way to also provide that take-home that people want to share, as well as that incentive to engage. Another incentive could be the winner who gets to every Easter egg in the treasure hunt can get featured on your Facebook page, like First Bank. Maybe they win a prize. Maybe they win a product that you're pushing. There's all different types of ways to incentivize them. And metrics. So what are we measuring? With all of the sign-up metrics I went over earlier, you can know the number of users, you can know the number of page views, how many people made it through the entire treasure hunt, where did they stop, where were people spending more time in that digital space, and then how many shares. Were people sharing these on Facebook, Twitter? Were they downloading for Instagram? And if you are using that Facebook login, you can get all of that demographic information as well. And of course, the take-home. The social media, the digital picture that you can share is great. We've also worked with people who wanted to set up a physical print, so someone had something physical to take home. I put this Red Bull can here because they are so good at this. Every single Red Bull event I've ever been to always has a take-home. And this is a cup holder that literally only holds a Red Bull can. So they are really good, obviously, but their brand is amazing, but even down to that take-home that requires their product. And so then you have the headsets. So I was just at a conference called AWE in Silicon Valley, and Microsoft had a booth there showing off their HoloLens for medical. You walked into this room, it looked like you were at a doctor's office, and you could see human bodies and all of their parts. You could look in a different area, and you could see different tools that you could use. It was a really amazing experience. The only issue is because it still is headset-based, there was a huge line. But it really was incredible to see. But with HoloLens and any of these AR devices, you can take any 3D model and put it and project it for people to see. So this could have been a car that people could walk around and change the colors. It could be a Nike shoe that you could change the colors. It can be anything that's built within that 3D space. And different headsets, of course, Microsoft HoloLens I've mentioned. Daiquiri is another headset. They're working within the industrial space. So if any of you are in industrial and manufacturing type industries, they're going to be replacing the hard hat. So it will help people within their job, showing them what to do. And then Meta is another headset that you can really build anything on. In consumer sign-up, because this is that individual experience, you really want to keep it going quickly. You don't want to end the experience, so signing up on a tablet's easiest to get people going through the line. And incentive, it's still the shiny new object. How many people in this room have ever worn an AR headset? Awesome, so there are a few, but most people would just want to do it because it's new. So that's still really great for right now, but it'll have to be something you think about as we move on. And then the key metrics to measure, of course, the number of users, the time that they're interacting, and what was their virtual path? Did they stay at the car and focusing on the colors, or did they move on to something else? And so this is all kind of different ways to use that headset. And lastly, we have holograms. So I know earlier they mentioned the Super Bowl, so this is something we did for Nickelodeon. We actually met Nickelodeon at BizBash in New York. So these conferences are very valuable, and that's how we ended up at Super Bowl with them. And here's a video of the experience we created. got to throw your football to SpongeBob SquarePants and do a touchdown dance. Super fun. Their goal was to have more social sharing. So we had people just sign up on an app, and this is something that if they were under 13, their parents did to be COPA compliant. We've also done things where we can integrate with the RFID badge at an event. Lots of trade shows have, so they just swipe it and go. We could also do the Facebook or Twilio that I mentioned earlier. And of course, our system is recording everything, so you get a fun video to share. And this is a video of what that take-home looked like.
I'm ready, 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 ready.
So adorable. So you're definitely, like, if I was his mom, I would 100% share that on social, which was their goal. And we track all types of metrics while we do this. So we have facial recognition. So you're only putting your name and email, and that's so you can get your selfie. Our facial recognition can tell your age, your gender, and even your sentiment, which is valuable to that brand. And we can even decide product preferences. So we've done other things where you can design your hologram car and pick your color, your rims, your interior, all your features, see yourself in the car. But at the end, I know what car you want. And we sync that with our auto client CRM system. So there's all these different ways you can provide that value to some of your event sponsors that they know events are key to reaching their consumers. They know they need to spend sponsorship money, but this is a way you can validate their spend and say, hey, this worked, you got this many generated leads, this converted to a sale. You can take this to your boss and say, yes, it's worth it. And so this was the data we got from Nickelodeon. We had almost 3,000 users, over 4,000 page views, 1,000 media shares, and people on average were watching those videos for 1 minute and 45 seconds, which is a really long time to be watching branded content. And then, of course, as expected, it was even male and female, and mostly children, and then their parents, which is pretty cool to see. But all of this comes back to data and looking at it as that experiment and saying, what is your goal? How are you going to get there? What defines success? So what do we need to measure during this event to say, yes, this was successful? AR allows us to put the digital in the real world and create millions of new digital touch points to collect this data. We are so excited about this AR future, and I hope you are now too. And I'm around later if you have any questions about how to implement some of this stuff at your own events. Thank you.